Long before the gods of Olympus were imagined, and long before mortals walked the earth, there was only the beginning of beginnings, chaos. In Greek mythology, chaos was not a god or a person, but an endless nothingness, a great yawning void that stretched everywhere and nowhere at once. From this void, the earliest primordial beings emerged, shaping the very structure of existence. Out of chaos came Gaia, the earth itself, firm and vast, the foundation upon which all things could stand. Alongside her came Nyx, the dark goddess of night, and Eros, the gentle force of desire, who encouraged beings to come together and create. There was Tartarus, the deep abyss, darker than night, hidden far beneath the earth, and there was Erebus, the shadow that lay between light and darkness. Slowly, with patience that could stretch for eternities, Gaia gave birth to mountains, seas, and skies. She created Uranus, the starry heavens, to be her equal and her partner. Together Gaia and Uranus filled the cosmos with life, producing the first generation of mighty beings, the Titans, who were both awe-inspiring and terrifying. These 12 Titans included Cronus, the youngest yet most ambitious, and Rhea, who would one day be a mother to gods. But not all children were pleasing. Among Gaia's offspring were the Centimanes, hundred-handed giants, and the Cyclopes, one-eyed beings of enormous strength. Uranus, fearful of their power, cast them deep into the darkness of Tartarus, burying them away. This cruelty pained Gaia, and from her grief was planted the first seed of rebellion. She fashioned a great sickle of unbreakable stone and gave it to her son Cronus, whispering to him of overthrow and vengeance. Cronus waited until Uranus came to lie upon Gaia, and with a single swift strike, he cut down his father, spilling his blood upon the earth. From those drops of blood came Furies, nymphs, and giants, while from the sea foam that arose from Uranus's severed form was born Aphrodite, goddess of love and beauty. Thus, the reign of Uranus ended, and the age of the Titans began, led by Cronus and Rhea, who ruled from a golden throne at the dawn of time. Cronus's reign over the cosmos was called the Golden Age, a time when humans, newly shaped from the soil, lived free of toil and hardship, blessed with abundance and peace. But even in this age of plenty, a shadow lingered, for Cronus had been warned by a prophecy. Just as he had overthrown his father, so too would he one day be overthrown by his own child. To prevent this fate, he resolved to swallow each child born to Rhea the moment they came into the world. One by one, Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon were devoured, imprisoned within the dark prison of their father's stomach. Rhea, grief-stricken and desperate, turned to Gaia for guidance. When her sixth child was born upon the island of Crete, she handed Cronus a stone wrapped in swaddling clothes instead of the baby. Cronus, deceived, swallowed it whole, while the infant Zeus was hidden away in a cave, nourished in secret by the god Amalthea and guarded by nymphs who drowned his cries with the clash of their shields. Zeus grew strong and cunning, and when he came of age, he sought to free his siblings. With the help of the Titaness Métis, who gave him a potion, Zeus tricked Cronus into disgorging the swallowed children. They emerged fully grown, fierce and ready for battle. Thus began the great war known as the Titanomachy, Zeus and his siblings, the Olympians, against Cronus and the elder Titans. For 10 long years, the battle raged, shaking the very foundations of the earth. Thunder, fire, and stone rained down as the sky was torn apart by war. At last, victory came when Zeus freed the Cyclopes from Tartarus, and in gratitude they forged mighty gifts. Thunder and lightning for Zeus, a trident for Poseidon, and a helm of invisibility for Hades. Armed with these, the Olympians triumphed, casting the defeated Titans into Tartarus, where they would remain guarded by the hundred-handed giants. From the ashes of war arose a new order. Zeus took the throne as king of the gods, ruling Olympus high above, while Poseidon commanded the seas and Hades took the underworld. Together, they divided the cosmos, and a new age, the age of the Olympians, began. Under the rule of the Olympian gods, the myths of Greece blossomed into a great web of tales that stretched across generations. Each god had their dominion and their nature, reflecting the unpredictable balance of life itself. Zeus, wielder of thunder, embodied authority, but was also prone to desire and anger. Hera, his queen, was the goddess of marriage yet often consumed by jealousy. Poseidon, lord of the sea, ruled over storms and earthquakes, while Hades, somber and silent, governed the dead with fairness. Athena sprang fully armed from Zeus's head, goddess of wisdom and war, while Apollo brought the light of the sun and the beauty of music and poetry. Artemis, his twin, Hunted in the forests beneath the moonlight, and Ares, god of war, thrived on bloodshed and chaos. Demeter nurtured the earth's harvests, but her sorrow at losing her daughter Persephone to Hades gave rise to the cycle of seasons. Dionysus, god of wine, embodied both joy and madness. These deities became the backdrop for countless stories of mortals, heroes, and tragedies. Prometheus, a titan who pitted mankind, stole fire from Olympus and gave it to humans, earning Zeus's wrath and eternal punishment. Pandora, the first woman, opened her fateful jar and released all manner of suffering into the world, leaving only hope within. Heroes emerged too. Perseus slayed the monstrous Medusa, Heracles endured 12 impossible labors, and Jason led the Argonauts on a perilous voyage for the Golden Fleece. These stories were not merely entertainment. They explained why storms raged, why crops failed, and why love could wound as much as heal. They formed a mirror of human experience, dressed in divine language. Each myth was a piece of the grand puzzle, a reminder that even gods were flawed and subject to fate, for destiny was a power higher than Olympus itself. In the later age of myth, the tales grew ever more human, centering not only on gods but also on kings, warriors, and lovers. The Trojan War became one of the central stories of Greek legend, weaving together gods and mortals in a long, tragic conflict. It began with Eris, goddess of strife, who tossed a golden apple inscribed, "To the fairest," into a wedding feast. Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite each claimed it, and the mortal prince Paris of Troy was chosen to decide. Tempted by Aphrodite's promise of the most beautiful woman in the world, Paris awarded her the apple, and in return he was given Helen, wife of King Menelaus of Sparta. Thus the seeds of war were sown. For 10 years, Greeks and Trojans clashed, while the gods themselves took sides. Achilles, greatest of the Greek warriors, fought with unmatched fury, though his own pride would bring him ruin. Hector, noble prince of Troy, faced his fate with courage, while Odysseus devised cunning schemes to tilt the balance of war. At last, the Greeks triumphed through the deception of the Trojan horse, and Troy fell in fire and grief. Yet the story did not end there. Odysseus wandered for 10 years more, facing monsters, temptresses, and the wrath of Poseidon before returning to his home in Ithaca. These epics, told in hushed tones and grand poetry, carried the last echoes of the mythic age. Greek mythology, in its entirety, became not just a collection of tales, but a tapestry of human thought and imagination. It bridged the divine and the mortal, the eternal and the fleeting. To listen to these stories, even slowly, even drowsily, is to wander back into a time where gods ruled the skies, heroes roamed the earth, and every stone, river, and flame had a spirit within. And though the Greeks themselves have long since passed into history, their mythology still whispers in the quiet hours of the night, a reminder of beginnings, of wars, of loves, and of endings that are never truly final.